Good morning, all of you. In part 2, we discussed about how all the person were blaming each other for the means for falling off the wall. See, the merchant was blaming bricklayer, and the bricklayer he blamed the dancing girl, and the dancing girl he blamed the jewelry maker, a goldsmith. See, in this way, each and every one they were blaming and making fool the king. Now, let us see what will happen after this. And he ordered a new stake to be made ready for the execution. As the servants sharpened the stake and got it ready for the final impaling of the criminal, it occurred to the minister that the rich merchant was somehow too thin to be properly executed on the stake. See, stake is a post with a sharp pointed end used to prayers through something, and execution means an official killing of someone. And see what is being said over here. When the new weapon was getting ready, the minister felt that the merchant was very thin and he could not be executed in this way, and he appealed to the king, the common king's common sense. The king too worried about it. See, he told this to the king, and the king got worried about this thing. What shall we do? He said, when suddenly it struck him that all they needed to do was to find a man fat enough to fit the stake. See what they said there. The king got an idea that they should catch and hold a man who was fat enough to be executed with the stake, and the merchant could not be put to death. Why? Because he was very thin, and they thought of punishing another person instead of the merchant. So one who was fat enough to be executed with the stake. See, the servants were immediately sent all over the town looking for a man who would fit the stake. And their eyes fell into the disciple who had fattened himself for months on bananas and rice and wheats and ghee. See, finally, what happened? The king sent his servant around the kingdom to look for a man who was quite fat enough, and they found the guru's disciple who was over there from last few months, and he had become very fat. Why? Because of overeating of bananas, rice, ghee, and wheat and everything. What have I done wrong? I'm innocent. I am a sannyas, he cried. uh, Sannyasi, he was a sannyasi. He said, what I have done wrong? I am very innocent person, and I'm also a sannyasi, and that may be true, but it's the royal decree that we should find a man fat enough to fit the stake. And they said and carried him to the place of execution. See, decree means what? It was an order. See, this disciple, he said that he was a sannyasi and he did anything wrong, and why this he was very innocent, and why they were taking him from there. And the king's servant said that he was innocent, but he was ordered to catch or hold on a fat man who could execute with the stake, and he was fit enough for it. So that is why we are taking you. He remembered his wise guru's word. This is a city of fools. You don't know what they will do next. See, the disciple at that same moment, he remembered about his guru, and what his guru said him, that this city is the city of fool, and it could harm them in future. So now they were taking him along to execute him. While he was waiting for death, he prayed to his Guru in his heart, asking him to hear his cry wherever he was. The Guru saw everything in a vision. He had magic powers. He could see far, and he could see the future as he could see the present and the past. See, the helpless disciple, he prayed to his guru and he asked for him to come for his rescue. From his heart, he called his guru. The guru, he was very good as a visualizer. He could visualize his disciple's message to the magical power he was having, and he could see everything. So he could see the future, the present, and the past also. See, so he called everything. See, he was seeing everything through his vision because he was very powerful. He arrived at once to save his disciple, and who had got himself into such a scrap means a difficult situation that one has got into through love of food. See, the guru arrived at a moment to save his disciple. See, disciple was trapped in a difficult and he was in a serious situation also, and they were about to execute him, and at the same moment he had although he had not done anything wrong, so the guru came to rescue him from this situation. As soon as he arrived, he scolded the disciple and told him something in a whisper. See, as soon as when he arrived, his guru arrived and he met his disciple, he scolded him. Why? Because he did not obey him and stayed back, and he whispered something in his ears. Then he went to the king and addressed him, "O wisest of kings, who is greater, the guru or the disciple?" "Of course, the guru, no doubt about it. Why do you ask? Then put me to the stake first. Put my disciple to death after me." See, the guru tried to trap the king in his words. So what he said, that he said to him that who was greater between a guru and his disciple? Who is greater between these two? The king replied that of course the guru is the greater one. And the guru said, for this reason the king must, what he should do, he must execute him before executing his disciple. When the disciple heard this, he understood and began to clamor, means to insist on something. "Me first. You brought me here first. Put me to death first, not him." See, when his disciple heard his guru's words, so he started shouting that he wanted to die first. The guru and the disciple now got into a fight about who should go first. The king was puzzled by this behavior. He asked the guru, "Why do you want to die? We choose him because we needed a fat man for the stake." See what happened here. When the guru and the disciple, they were arguing with each other and they were saying, "No, I will die first, not you." And the king got confused in this, and he asked the guru, why do you want to die? They have caught the disciple. Why? Because he was fat and they wanted a fat man to execute with a stake. "You shouldn't ask me such question. Put me to death first," replied the guru. See, the guru, what he said, he said that you should not ask such type of question to me, but you put to death to me first, not my disciple. Why? There is some mystery here. As a wise man, you must make me understand. See, the king felt that there was some mystery behind this, and the guru wanted to die because before his disciple, and was so eager to die also. So there must be something, some reason behind it. "Will you promise to put me to death if I tell you?" asked the guru. See what the guru said over here. He asked the king that you promise me first that you will means make me die first. Told him to secret. I will tell you the secret, but when he wanted to execute first, the king gave him his solemn words. The guru took him aside out of the servants' earshot and whispered to him, "Do you know why we want to die right now? The two of us, we have been all over the world, but we have never found a city like this or a king like you. That stake is the stake of the God of justice. It's new. It has never had a criminal on it. See why what he said over here. uh, the the king promised that he would execute him first, and then the guru told him what the king aside, and slowly he took him aside and he slowly told him that around the whole world, but not he has not seen a city or a king like this, like him. And he also said that the stake which they would use to kill the this missiles, what they were using, was a stake of justice. And as it was new, it had not killed any criminal. See, it was new and it has not also killed any of the criminal. Whoever dies on it first will be reborn as a king of this country. Then what he said further, that he said that whoever will die first will be on this stake, will be reborn. He would be reborn as whom, as a king of this kingdom. And whoever goes next will be the future minister of this country. Then what he said, one who will die next to him will reborn as a minister of this kingdom. And we are sick of our ascetic, means life means what? The life of a sannyasi, a strict life, a life of a disciple. So it would be nice to enjoy ourselves as a king and minister for a while. Now keep your word, my lord, and put us to death. Me first, remember. See what he said. The Guru added that he would try to live, he has lived a life of a sannyasi. Now he and his disciple wanted to live a life like a king and a minister. So he said to the king that you execute him first, so that he will reborn like a king, and after me, my disciple, that he will reborn like a minister. The king was now thrown into deep thought. He didn't want to lose the kingdom to someone else in the next round of life. He needed time, so he ordered the execution postponed to the next day and talked in secret with his minister. See what he did after listening to the Guru. The king was in a deep thought, and what he did not want the next life, his kingdom, to be snatched away by someone. So he wanted to discuss with his minister. So he postponed it, means put off something for the later time. He did, okay, we'll go through with this, means next day. It's not right for us to give over the kingdom to the others in the next life. Let's go on to the stake ourselves, and we will be reborn as a king and minister again. Holy man, do not tell lies, he said, and his minister agreed. See what happened now. The king told his minister that he did not want the next life, his kingdom, to be taken by someone else. And he also said that the person who is holy man, and they did not speak lie. This holy person will not speak lie. And he also says that he should die first, so that they will reborn as king and the minister of the kingdom. So he told executioner, we will send the criminals tonight. When the first man comes to you, put him to death first, and then do the same to the second man. Those are my orders. Don't make any mistake. See what happened over here. The king told his executioner what he said, that that he would send the criminals at night. Firstly, they should execute the person who comes first, and then the person who comes at the second, they should execute him then. And they should be careful, and they should not make any type of mistake. That night the king and his minister went secretly to the prison. Realized the Guru and the disciple disguised, means a different appearance in order to hide one's identity, themselves as the two, and as arranged beforehand with loyal servants, were taken to the stake and promptly executed. See, at that night, what happened? The king and his minister, they went to the prison, and when the guru and his disciple, they were kept, and they wore the clothes of the guru and his disciple, so that they resembled them. And as it was what it was told, that the servant, that they came and told them along and put them into the stake for execution. In this way, with his intelligence, the guru was able to execute his foolish king and his foolish minister. When the bodies were taken down to be thrown to crows and vultures, the people panicked. See, panic means fright. When the dead bodies of the king and his minister that was taken away to be thrown, the people trembled to see the dead bodies as of their king and his minister. They saw before them the dead bodies of the king and the ministers. The city was in confusion. See what they saw, that before them the dead bodies of whom? It was of the king and the minister, and the city was also in the confusion. All night they mourned and discussed the future of the kingdom. Some people suddenly thought of the Guru and the disciple and caught up with them as they were preparing to leave town unnoticed. See, everyone in the kingdom, they were mourning the death of their king and his minister. And in the morning, what happened? Some people, they thought of the Guru and his disciple also, and they felt that they should go to them. And as the Guru and his disciple were planning to leave the kingdom, the people stopped them. We people need a king and a minister, said someone. Others agreed. They begged the Guru and the disciple to be their king and their minister. See, the people, they came to the king, the people of the kingdom, what they thought, they needed a king also and a minister in their kingdom. So they requested that Guru and the disciple to be their new king and the minister of the kingdom. I didn't take many arguments to persuade the disciple, but it took longer to persuade the Guru. See, it did not take more time to convince. Persuade means to convince. The disciple agreed very quickly, but it took some time to make the Guru agree upon this. They finally agreed to rule the kingdom of the foolish king and the silly minister on the condition that they could change all the old laws. From then on, night would again be night and day would again be day, and you could get nothing for a dodo. It became like any other place. See what happened. So the Guru, he agreed that yes, he will be the king of the kingdom and his disciple will be the minister, but on the condition that from then that everyone, they will work during the daytime and they will sleep at night, and also the cost of the thing would vary, and that would not be one dodo for everything, was the system earlier, which was the system earlier, and it would be like any other place where everything has a different rate, the cost of each thing will be different. And finally the Guru converted the kingdom of fools into a normal kingdom. I hope you all have enjoyed this beautiful story, which was written by A.K. Ramanuj. Thank you for listening.